You're listening to KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, California. The views on this show are not necessarily the views of KUCI, UCI, or its border regions. My name is Ann. You're listening to Operation Community Stimulus. We're a program where we reach out to the community to bring some exciting information. So we have here in the studio two young ladies that one goes to University High and the other one goes to Irvine High. I believe it's Catherine Liu, is that right? Catherine, you go to, now which school do you go to?
Irvine High School right now.
And Monica, what is your last name?
Sagowitz.
Thank you. Thank you. And where do you go to school?
University High School.
Okay. And you guys are involved in a unique program here that I just recently learned about, and I don't know about the listeners here, what they know about it, but is it called YAT, or do you call it Youth Action Team, or what?
Youth Action Team, shortened for YAT.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I have to tell you, I was really impressed with, I built a little table, of course, and you guys decorated it, and it was really special. We have it on YouTube. I don't know, you guys have got a chance to kind of take a little peek at it, I think, now. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It's a great video.
So, tell me now, Catherine, what made you get involved with YAT?
Well, there are lots of community service opportunities that YAT provided. I was really appealed to that. And then my commitment got deeper and deeper, and then I thought, why not try out for the job? And then I got the job my senior year, and here I am.
Well, because it's my understanding that you guys are actually employees of the city of Irvine, is that right?
Yes.
Wow, I think that's amazing. I don't know of any other city that hires the teenagers like that.
No, I think Irvine's pretty unique in that aspect.
What about you, Monica? What possessed you to do something like YAT?
Well, I had done ASB and council at university for since I was a freshman, and so last year on ASB, someone actually recommended it to me because all the work we do is so much like being on a student government that I was recommended for the job, and then I interviewed, and having gone through that process and getting the job, I really see how much of an impact it's made on my closing up my high school experience, especially my senior year.
I understand it's a hard program to get into.
Oh yes, it's definitely somewhat prestigious among high school students. Like around 100 people apply, and people come up to you and ask you randomly, "Oh, how was the interview? Is it really hard?" And they're just trying really hard to get the job, and I admire the people.
How many students are involved with the YAT program?
Well, our youth action team, as far as the employees go, there's 14 of us from all 5 schools of IUSD. But as far as the clubs go, each school has its own clubs that has numerous members, and then there's middle school youth action team clubs. So just plenty of kids involved all across Irvine.
Yeah, that's the reason I moved to Irvine 20-something years ago. I moved out here and was going to live in Coronado. I don't know if you guys know where that is, down in San Diego. And my daughter got tears in her eyes, and she said, "I'm scared." And I said, "I know. We know one person. He lives in a dinky town up the coast. I think it's called Irving." And I hadn't settled on it until I went to the city council meeting, and then YAT wasn't even brought up, but I was impressed back then, 20 years ago, with. So what do your parents think about this YAT program?
Oh, well, my mom, she loves it because it allows me to, try out a lot of different things like this radio show, and also organizing events. It's just, YAT is just an opportunity that you really don't come across, very often.
No, I've never heard of anything like it. What about your parents, Monica? Are they supportive of you being involved with the Youth Action Team?
Yeah, they're very glad that my first job wasn't at In-N-Out or retail or somewhere where I would be getting not very great hours and not very great pay. So they're excited that I found something that kind of fits what I'm good at and is a good use of my time and has given me experience that will definitely help further on in any sort of career path or life goals and things like that.
How about the leadership of Youth Action Team? Are you guys pleased with, who are the Steve
and Megan?
And Megan, they run it, and I guess they are always there for you guys, and no doubt support. Are they the ones that come up with the ideas on what you're going to do?
Well, it's more like we come up with ideas, and they help foster these ideas and become reality. But we give them ideas, and then they sort of have connections that can help us, make these events. happen.
They're kind of like the venue for whatever creativity we want to do as far as forums and events and things like that. They really advise us and help us. They do give great advice. I've considered them both great mentors. But I wouldn't consider them, they don't constrict us as much as you would think
Yeah,
advisors
it's very open-ended.
Well, and the reason I would back up what you just said is because when I went and I spoke with Steve about doing this project, he said it's not up to me. He said I'll present it to the club and see what, because I really enjoy building furniture. I was a general contractor for 25 years and love that too, but I got a little bit too old for that, so Grandma moved over to talking. But I think that building these tables to pay, you guys did such a fabulous job on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was just like, and then now that you've seen it on YouTube, it's Operation Community 1, the letter 1. So if any listeners want to peek in and take a look at it, I mean, it was a very creative venture. What about college next year? Could you share with us maybe what you Catherine, what about you? Where are you wanting to go?
I'm going to Wesleyan University. It's a small liberal arts college in Connecticut, Middletown, Connecticut, and I'm majoring in the social sciences, like sociology maybe.
How close to Greenwich, Connecticut is it?
I don't know, but it's in the middle of nowhere.
I love Connecticut. I almost moved there instead of out here 20-something years ago, but I don't want the snow. Sorry. It'll be okay for a few years, but
Yeah.
So what are you going now? What about you, Megan? Where do you think you're going to plant next year?
Well, I'll be attending University of Oregon in the fall. It's based in Eugene. Football team's the Ducks. I'll be studying journalism with a focus in public relations and electronic media. I'm just super excited to go and kind of get on my way. Although I love Irvine, I do.
You're going to study media, did you say? What kind of media?
Electronic.
So what does that mean? Like internet or what?
From what I saw in their kind of orientation forum, which was only a little bit, is that it's kind of how the internet and things like radio, mass media like movies and the news stations and TV is kind of affecting how we communicate, our methods of publicity and marketing. It's kind of seems like a make your own major type deal right now, but they're slowly working on it, and it's kind of building strength with every class that enters.
Well, that sounds kind of interesting. I think that anything to do with the media is good, especially marketing and things like that. So what about, you guys have you guys always lived in Irvine then? Gone to all the...
Oh, well, I was born in Los Angeles, and I've stayed there for a long time. But then I also went back to Taiwan for a few months, but I never actually got to assimilate myself into like the Taiwanese culture. So I just moved back to Los Angeles, and I moved to Irvine in 4th grade.
Do you speak the language at all?
Yeah, I speak Mandarin Chinese, but I can't write it a bit.
No, but you know what? To have a second language is so important. What about you, Megan? Do you do any other language?
Right now
Latin?
I'm taking Latin in school. That's as far as classes go. I do know a little bit of Spanish, just kind of growing up with like some housekeeping help and different methods of learning Spanish. But yeah, I've been an Irvine native all my life, so I don't really have that outside experience like Catherine does.
Well, tell us about some of the projects that you've done, Catherine. What about you? Why don't you tell us a couple of projects that you've done for the
youth action team? Well, one of our biggest events is Teen Summit, and that's an annual thing. And what we do is like a youth conference for Irvine teenagers, and it just opens up their minds about the sort of ways that they can reach out to community and also get involved with their own lives. So there's workshops such as yoga, kickboxing, and also workshops about how to help the environment and stuff like that. We just hope that Irvine teens will gain new interest with the Teen Summit, that event that we plan.
No, I think everybody should do something. I think that's, and Irvine's pretty good about,
It's really
doing
important.
What about you, Megan? What are some of the projects that you've enjoyed, other than the table that I built, that you painted, that you guys did a fabulous job on?
Right now, actually, is the project I'm really excited about. We're working on our team as far as Relay for Life goes. And Relay for Life is a separate community service event that raises money for the American Cancer Society. And so our job is we make a booth, we have a theme, we fundraise for American Cancer Society. Like, we're selling these raffle tickets that you can get 2 free Disneyland Deluxe passes, and the raffle ticket's only $10. And so we're just trying our best to use all of our venues and methods and publicize,
to
raise money and help out Relay for Life, because they're Irvine and we work in Irvine, so it's kind of collaboration.
Be at IVC, June 4th to June 5th.
So that's where the Relay for Life is going to be at IVC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So will it include, is it just high school students that are involved with this, or is this something that...
Oh, no, it's the whole community.
Irvine-wide.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I haven't heard anything about it. So, wow, that's kind of... Now, when is that going to be?
June 4th through the 5th.
What
a 24-hour event.
What about the summit program? When do you have that? We didn't...
Teen Summit was March 26th, a few months back, and it's held annually. It's always in March, and it's just a YAT sort of staple event that we have.
That's more for teens and high schoolers in the community, kind of getting them involved in what Youth Action Team has to offer.
You guys are young, but I don't know if you've had anybody that's been affected with cancer, but almost everybody in one way, shape, or another, we all know somebody that has been.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I have to tell you, I spoke to my old boss today from, I used to work through Washington Mutual. I did credit card processing for them, and I talked to my old boss, and he's been going through some serious cancer issues, and he's not that old either. So it affects so many people. And I don't know how much research or what they're doing, but there's so many great causes out there. So now, do you guys ever do anything like, I mean, is there like a new project you pick every month, every 2 months, or is there any kind of pattern here for the organization, or just...
Monica can answer that.
Well, actually, for our Youth Action Team club members, it was kind of a goal this year. We offer something community service-wise for them to gain hours or for them to do almost every day. We affiliate with multiple different organizations. Like, one of my favorite is Working Wardrobes, which is...
I interviewed them.
Yeah.
Jerry Rosen.
Working Wardrobes and Team Kids.
Meals on Wheels.
Meals on Wheels. We do with Africa Project. So we kind of communicate and collaborate with all of these other organizations and then promote their events, opportunities for community service to our Youth Action Team club members, who can then volunteer, get community service hours, as well as meaningful time spent doing community service.
Most of the students that are involved with this program, then they had to go through the same interviewing process, I guess, that you guys did. And I noticed the ratio that there was more females. Am I right? More girls than guys. I noticed.
Yeah.
Or on our painting there was.
Oh yeah. Well, this year there were definitely more females than males. I guess it was something like 11-3.
Yeah, it's 11-3. That's kind of specific to our year, though. It's not like that happens every year. Oh, I think it's just kind of how the interviews worked out. They really pick on merit, not exactly on making the ratio even.
I wonder how this organization come about. Does anybody know who was the brainchild behind this?
Well, Steve is the second person to be in charge of YAT. There was someone before him, but I'm not exactly sure how it started.
Do you know how many years ago it started?
I would say it's at least like a decade-year-old, right? More than a decade's worth.
Yeah, more than a decade.
You know, I'm thinking that I thought somebody told me even when I moved out here, it started right after that, or maybe it was maybe when my son graduated from Woodbridge, which I think was 96 or something around there. Somebody told me. Anyway, we don't have that information to share with you, but no, I think it's really awesome. I was really impressed with the way the table went. Did you guys get any comments from the some of the members that didn't paint it? Did you get any wow?
Oh yeah, they were really impressed with how the table turned out, because I don't think anyone sees us as artists, but the table is great. Yeah.
I think that art has to come from within, and I think that we all have it, and I think that we all need to just dip the brush in and just start. Even if we make a line, to me, that's art. When I paint houses for people, which I don't do anymore very much, but when I used to paint houses, I could paint a wall white, and I would think that I was doing a masterpiece. So that's kind of like the way my mindset is at. So I get real excited over all of them, whenever people paint on my tables. And I find that the high school students, the middle school students, do some really awesome art. So maybe we can do something when you guys get settled into your new colleges. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun, I think. So, well, what kind of upcoming, how much longer will you be involved with the Youth Action Team? Is this something that you'll end this year or in the near future when school ends?
We all end when June hits and we graduate. We're no longer a part of the Youth Action Team. A lot of the team is going on to continue working for the city of Irvine. Unfortunately, I won't be working for them any longer.
Me neither.
But I know,
The commute would be too much, huh? Oregon?
yeah, that's a bit of a far plane ride. But I know that a lot of the Youth Action Team staff is going on because the city of Irvine is so
Embracing it, aren't they?
yeah, they really set you up well to work for the city, gain some experience, and then possibly continue to work for the city in future years.
Are you guys familiar with Families Forward, I think, or something like that?
Oh yeah, we're familiar with that.
Yeah, it's a wonderful organization, too. I know Maritza there. I don't know if you know who she is or not, but she's one of the counselors, and I went in and shared the picture of the table with her the other day, and
that's great.
and she was very familiar with what you guys offered
Yeah.
here. Nobody told me about you guys. I mean,
Really?
and I stumbled into Steve, and I was like, wow, that's incredible. And I thought that he was in charge, even though he is in charge. It's for him to give you guys the respect to make the decision on what you're going to do. That's the way it should be, you know. I've always said that a good manager will work for the people that they are overseeing. That's, to me, I mean, when I had employees, I worked to make sure that they had what they needed to do the job so that they could grow and do good. So, what about brothers and sisters? Do you guys still have siblings that'll be left behind when you leave Orange County?
No.
You're the last to go.
I'm the last to, leave the chicken coop. I have an older sister who's at Arizona State, but I'm the baby, and my parents will be saying bye-bye.
What is your sister majoring in, do you know?
She's in business sustainability.
So, I've never heard of it called business. What is that? What kind of
It's a new major, actually, at Arizona State that they're working on, and it's it's the business side of going green, environmental business, ethics, and things like that. So that's what she's working on right now.
What about you, Catherine?
I'm an only child, youngest of my generation, so the only people I'd be abandoning is my family. Yeah, sorry that they can't come with me.
Wow, that's going to be hard on your mother. I have to tell you that right now. That's not an easy thing to do, but you have to give her a lot of respect for letting you make the choice. Yeah, because that's what we do as parents.
My grandma wanted me to go to UCI, but as much as I love UCI and Irvine, I feel like I just need to get out of my comfort zone because you can't really appreciate the sweet without tasting the bitter. And Connecticut is probably going to be really bitter and cold.
It's going to be cold, I guarantee. Have you ever been in the cold before?
I was just there last month in Connecticut to visit Wesleyan, and even though it was springtime, it was freezing.
No, it's bitter cold. But, I don't know if you could have a train to go into New York. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, they do. It's a 2-hour train ride.
Because I had friends in Greenwich, Connecticut, and I went there. I had all the intentions in the world of moving there, and it was a fabulous visit, but I was just like thinking the weather's too nice in California. And I actually built a house, a 6-level home up in the mountains, and I spent one winter in it, and I said I didn't move to California to shovel snow. Go to Connecticut maybe, but not California. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming in and sharing this information on the Youth Action Team. Is there anything, that you might want to, we have another minute or so that you might want to talk about with the program that we left out?
Oh, well, we have Guacamole Bowl coming up this Saturday at Lakeview Senior Center. Starts at 6. And proceeds raised there, I'll go to the American Cancer Society for Relay for Life, as Monica mentioned. So we're really excited to just raise more money for ACS and also make people laugh because Guacamole Bowl is sort of a comedy sports event.
It's like a comedy sports tournament.
So you guys are having like comedians there that are going to be, and then guacamole, I guess, a dip?
Because it is for high school students, it is all high school students comedy sports team, so the University Comedy Sports team versus the Irvine Comedy Sports team, and then they face off. They play the other teams. It's a really fun event.
They play like, what are they playing?
They're playing comedy sports, which is kind of like improv,
Okay.
kind of like a Who's Line type deal.
And then so the refreshments are?
Guacamole and obviously drinks.
Yeah.
Your Hansons and Sportastic.
So this is at the Senior Citizen?
Lakeview Senior Center.
Yeah. Now, is this open to all residents, or do you have to be a senior citizen to...
Oh, it's open to people of all ages, I think.
That's so awesome the way you guys are at the seniors. You get a little early, but that is so awesome. I've actually done some of my tables in assisted living facilities. It was really a lot of fun. Atria, I don't know if you've ever heard of Atria
Oh,
or
I
not.
have.
Yeah, my sister's there as a director with them nationally, and I made a table and I sat it down, and we had a student from University High there helping paint on the table too. But the little ladies sat down and they looked at me and they said, "Honey, what are we going to paint today?" I said, "The table." People are not used to doing the table. So anyway, we'd like to invite the listeners to look at the YouTube video on Operation Community One and give you some more updates. Is there anything else before we close you guys out?
Thanks for having us here.
Yes,
again.
thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And you're listening to Operation Community Stimulus. My name is Ann, and would like to find us on 88.9 FM in Irvine, California, and the views on this show are not necessarily the views of KUCI, UCI, or its border regents. And thank you guys so much.